All right, before we get into today's video, I need each and every one of you to do something. Pause this video or leave it running. It doesn't really matter, but go to the description, scroll down, find Tanner's Twitter, and tweet him 3 words. Thank you, Tanner. Thank you, Tanner, for restoring the winning ways and the good feelings to the channel. I brought my boy on yesterday. He was the first guest we'd ever had on the Pick 5 Win 5 series. And together, me and Tanner went 4-2. We are back in the money. So thank you, Tanner, for bringing the winning ways back to the channel. It had been a rough 10, 12 days or so, and we're not out of the woods yet. Of course, we are still in the profit, but finally, we've got a foothold. We've got a beacon of light that we can grab onto. It's shining down on our face like that prison in Batman that Bane escaped from, and then Bruce Wayne had to climb out of. That Tanner gave us the blueprint. We've now seen it's possible, and we're trying to get more of those winning days. We're trying to stack them, but I do have a quick question. It actually deals with what I was just talking about with Tanner. Because I do plan to start introducing guests more frequently here, do you guys want me to have a guest record tracker? I'm not going to be able to make records for every individual guest because, frankly, a lot of them probably won't come on multiple times, so there would be no point. But here are my thoughts here. So I think that the benefit to having one uniform record like we do right now, you'll notice it has been updated, is this is a channel record. So when you tune into the channel, no matter who's speaking, you can kind of get a sense of, how we did yesterday, what our overall trends are, et cetera, et cetera. The benefit to having the guest record would be, obviously, you separate what my picks are and then what the other picks are, not from me, whoever my guests are. However, the one downside I do see with that is, Tanner, let's say, he goes 10-0, and he comes on a few more times, he goes 10-0. But then we have Michael, and Michael goes 0-5. The guest record would be 10-5, but obviously Tanner would be 10-0 and Michael would be 0-5. So it would be a little misrepresentative depending on which guest is on the channel. Let me know your thoughts, please. Comment. Let me know. I'm really interested to hear so that we know how to proceed with Pick 5, Win 5. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else in between. Welcome back to my daily betting show, where it is my job to give you my 5 favorite plays in the sports betting world. Coming off of a 4-2 day yesterday. Again, thank you to the one and only Tanner Kern. Make sure that you do tweet him those 3 words. Thank you, Tanner. Drop him a follow while you're at it. He's got some awesome content. He does stuff for DraftKings Sportsbook, Forbes, the World Sports Network. He's all over the place. He's a great follow. But he helped us get into the winning ways. And obviously, it's Saturday. It's the weekend. We're feeling pretty good here. And what else do we want to do? What makes the weekend better than anything? I mean, maybe you're having a barbecue, a cookout with the fellas. Maybe you're going out to the bar with the ladies. Whatever it is, you want to make some money. And with these picks that I've got cooked up, I think that is exactly what we are going to do. But before I give you these picks, make sure that you guys are subscribed to the channel. We are on the hunt for 1,000 subscribers. And when we get there, I'm giving away $100 to one random subscriber. I also have a few more guests planned out. Yes, I'm going to spoil it. They're going to be coming on right now, probably once a week or so, give or take. I've got 2-3 people that have already said they're interested. And these are not just, your random friends or guys you went to college with. These are legit sports betting industry experts and insiders. So really exciting content on the way for all of you guys. So again, make sure that you have smashed that subscribe button. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into the picks. Now, my first pick of the day here, I'm taking the Texas Rangers money line versus the Milwaukee Brewers. The Brewers won yesterday, 9-8. They are playing really good baseball, but I'm going to be stubborn. I'm going to take the Rangers. And let me tell you why. So Dane Dunning is getting the start for the Rangers here. He's 9-4 with a 3.10 ERA and a 1.14 whip, going against Freddie Peralta of the Brewers, who's 9-8 with a 4.08 ERA and a 1.19 whip. Now, Peralta, he's got really good stats this month, but he has been playing a lot of bad offenses. And honestly, you can call me a simpleton if you want, but looking at his game log, he does bad against good teams and he does good against bad teams. I know it sounds very straightforward, but it's honestly not always how the pitching trends go. But with Peralta, it's a near replica. If it's a really good offense, then he's going to play bad. If it's a really bad offense, he's going to play good. So credit to him for, showing consistency and allowing you to properly guess what he's going to do. But he's playing a very good offense in the Texas Rangers. So the odds are he's not going to be at his best. He also has a 4.45 ERA on the road. This game is in Texas. And with a guy who's got a 4.08 for the season, you can tell he has been worse on the road. Again, the game's on the road. Now, Dunning, he has also been taking advantage of bad pitchers lately. He's got better numbers overall, though. You know, a 3.10 ERA, 114 whip. That's pretty elite. And he also just does have a better track record over the course of the season. He had a blistering start to the year. Hasn't quite been at that same level, but he has mostly been a model of consistency the last couple of months. So we like him for that reason. Now, this is the best offense that the Brewers have put out on the field all season. Like, this is the most runs they're scoring, the highest batting average they've had. And over the last month, they're still scoring nearly one less run per game than the Rangers are. Keep in mind, this is a money line pick, not a run line. So the one run difference between them might not cover, but it wins the bet in this case because we have the money line here. Now, the Rangers bullpen still isn't great. That is a problem that I continue to mention on this channel. I know they brought in Aroldis Chapman, but still they're in the bottom 10 in bullpen ERA over the last month. So they've got to get out to a lead early. I think they will be able to do that. However, they are 42-22 at home. That's the best home record in Major League Baseball. So for the first pick, Rangers money line. Now the second pick here, it's a game that I took yesterday, and it's the other side, kind of. I'm taking the Cincinnati Reds plus 1.5 versus the Toronto Blue Jays. I had the Blue Jays money line yesterday. My theory was Jose Berrios was going to shove. He was going to do, go a 6-7 inning shutout, and the Blue Jays were going to be able to win a close game. In hindsight, maybe I should have taken the under, but I was worried that the Reds pitcher, I was worried that he didn't have much Major League experience, and he wasn't that good, to be honest, in the games he was there. So I was worried that the Blue Jays were just going to light him up. That didn't happen. The Reds won 1-0 on a walk-off home run in the bottom of the ninth. And I guess that and also just some other general trends, it's swayed me. Not fully. I'm not going from Blue Jays money line to Reds money line, but Reds plus 1.5 still for good value. Now, enough of me waffling. Let me tell you about this game in particular. So Chris Bassett's getting the start here. He is 11-6 with a 3.95 ERA and a 1.24 whip. He's taken on Brandon Williamson. Now, Brandon Williamson's numbers for the season are pretty bad, but he's stacked a couple of really good months lately. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and pull these up for you. I don't know why I didn't write them down because normally I do, but you guys would be interested to hear these, I think. Sorry. 3 seconds and I'll have them up here. Okay, so Brandon Williamson this month has a 3.78 ERA. The last time we saw him, he gave up 1 earned run in 5.2. The game before that, 1 earned run in 6.2. Last month, he had a 2.45 ERA. The month before that, he had a 3.29, which wasn't great, but a lot of that was because he gave up 6 earned runs in a couple of innings to the Los Angeles Dodgers. So he's been getting a lot better. I mean, the guy's only 25 years old. There's going to be development with him, and the good thing is you are seeing that progress with him. Now, focusing back on the matchup here, Chris Bassett, who I did mention, he's kind of been a model of consistency. He's pretty much always going to be in that mid to high 3s for ERA. He had a month where he had a 5. He had a month where he had a 2, sure. But most of the time, you can count him to be in that, again, high 3s, low 4s sort of region. Now, here's why I'm going with the Reds against the spread here. So obviously they won yesterday, 1-0. Like I said, I thought the Blue Jays were going to be taking advantage of their good road offense. They have scored the 7th most runs in the league on the road. But what I forgot to do was look at their scoring over the last month. If you guys don't know, I like looking at offensive trends for the last month because it's short enough to give us a representation of what's going on, but also large enough to not fall completely victim to recency bias. I feel like it's the best of both worlds in many situations. And over the last month, the Reds are scoring more runs than the Blue Jays are, and they're actually a little bit better at home. The Reds have also covered in 6 of their last 9. The Blue Jays have only covered in 2 of those same 9 games. Again, I went with Berrios yesterday, or I went the Blue Jays yesterday, largely because I thought Berrios was going to do his job. He did do his job. The Reds were really good on the mound. They came in, gave excellent innings of bullpen relief. Their offense has been a little bit better lately. I'm going to take them to ride the hot hand, and I think they're going to go ahead, get the cover here. And I could see them winning, but I do have respect for the Blue Jays' offensive talent. Even if they're wasteful, I still have respect for their talent. So Reds plus 1.5. That's the second pick of the show. My third pick here, I'm going to take the Colorado Rockies money line versus the Chicago White Sox. I almost said the Boston White Sox. Can you imagine what that team would look like? Jesse Schultens is going to be on the bump here for the White Sox. He's 1-5 with a 3.20 ERA and a 1.24 whip. Actually been playing really well, but his expected ERA is higher than his regular ERA. So maybe you're expecting the regression monster to come for him at some point. He's going against Kyle Freeland, and you guys know I don't love looking at Rockies pitchers' stats because it's not fair because they play at altitude, but I'm going to read you Freeland's, and I'll tell you why in just a second. So he's 4-13 with a 4.94 ERA and a 1.46 whip. The reason that I am reading you these is, weirdly, Freeland plays better at home I understand that you want to have a level of comfort and familiarity with your surroundings, but at altitude, everybody just scores more. The offenses score more, the pitchers give up more runs. I don't know why he's playing better at home, but you know what? He does. So more power to him and better for us in this situation. The Rockies won yesterday 14-1. They're 27-32 at home. And while that might not sound like much, go look at their road record. It's just awful. It's atrocious. But that home record to only be 5 games under 500, I mean, that's not the end of the world. And you look at the White Sox, they're 23-41 on the road. So clearly, we've got a pretty big difference there. And also, just looking at how the offenses have been performing lately, over the last month, the Rockies are scoring just about 3/4 of an extra run per game than the White Sox are. The bullpens are very similar. They're within 0.2 runs of one another. The Rockies just happen to play better at home. They got a massive win yesterday. I don't think the pitching matchup is as dissimilar as the numbers might make it seem. So I'm going to take the Rockies money line here, a little underdog play for the third pick. At the 4 spot here, I'm going to take the Baltimore Orioles versus the Oakland Athletics. Now, I will admit, I had the Braves money line here versus the Giants, and maybe I'm a little bit jaded because I took the Rangers money line against the Giants earlier in the week, and I think they lost two. No, I remember exactly. They lost 3-2. They hit a home, no, not a home run. They hit an RBI on their last out of the game. Logan Webb went 8.2 innings, didn't give up a run, and then the reliever came in. He ended up getting the earned run. But they go to extra innings. They go up 2-1, and they give up a home run in the bottom of the 10th to lose 3-2. But the point that I'm trying to make here is Logan Webb is on the mound today. And sorry, I just had a little brain fart there. Logan Webb is on the mound today, and he's taking on Kirinos of the Braves. And honestly, like I said, maybe I'm jaded. I'm scared to bet against Webb right now. Braves money line, I would play it for -120. If this was pick 6, win 6, that would be the next pick on the show. Anyway, let me get back on track here. So this 4th pick, again, I almost did swap it out, but I ended up taking it in the end because of some stats that I didn't necessarily know. On the mound for the Orioles will be Cole Irvin, who's 1-3 with a 4.92 ERA and a 1.42 WHIP. Keep those numbers in mind and bear with me. He's taking on Ken Waldichuk of the Athletics, who's 2-7 with a 6.07 ERA and a 1.70 WHIP. Just horrendous numbers. There's no point even talk about him. I mean, I will say this. He has a 4.30 ERA this month. He does play better at home. His ERA is just about 5 at home. But I mean, when you play better at home and your ERA is 5, come on, man. Now, Irvin, here's what I want to talk about. So he's got a 4.92 ERA and a 1.42 WHIP. That kind of was scaring me off. That's why I originally did have the Braves in here. But Irvin has been excellent this month. He's played 4 games. Granted, 2 of them, he only went 1 inning, but he's got 9 total innings this month, and he hasn't given up an earned run yet. He was also excellent last month, -1 start against the Yankees. Forget how many runs he gave up. It was like 5 or 6 in 2 innings. But other than that, he was excellent. And he was really good the month before that too. So we've now got 3 months of Irvin being really good -1 game. And against an offense like the Athletics, who is the lowest scoring team over the course of the season, the second lowest scoring team over the last 30 days of play, I like the Orioles here. I mean, the A's averaged just 3.5 runs per game over the last 30 days. The bullpen, there's a huge difference. It favors the Orioles ERA by just about a full run. The Orioles won yesterday 9-4. They've got the best road record in the entire league. They have a stretch against the spread of 18-8. I could have worded that better. They're on a streak right now of being 18-8 against the spread. Meanwhile, the A's are 6-10 against the spread over the last couple of weeks of play. We're going to take the Orioles here -1.5. I love this play, especially for this value. And now we are at the 5th and final pick. Before I give it to you guys, as I always do, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. Bada boom, let's get to the 5th pick here. We're taking the under of 8 runs in the Red Sox-Yankees matchup. Now, Garrett Cole is on the mound. It's Garrett Cole day, everybody. If you're a Yankees fan, put your hands together or do whatever religious movement you have. Or if you're not religious, why don't you just look up to the sky, take in a deep breath of fresh air, because this is your chance. This is your chance to win a game with Garrett Cole on the mound. He's 10-3 with a 2.76 ERA and a 1.05 WHIP, going against Cutter Crawford, who is 5-6 with a 3.80 ERA and a 1.13 WHIP. Now, Cole, as everybody knows, might be the best pitcher in the league. If he's not, I mean, he's right there in the conversation. He's got elite strikeout ability, and what is really good about him from a betting perspective is he's practically a lock to give you 6, 7, maybe even 8 innings of duty. And it's really good because when you're betting on pitchers, like you can look at the Atlanta Braves and some of the guys even though they've got good ERAs, all of them, Sometimes they just give up 6 to 8 runs in 2, 3 innings and they're out of there. Garrett Cole doesn't really do that. That doesn't really happen to him. So the fact you know what you're going to get from him, it might be a shutout. It might be 3 earned runs, sure. But he's going to go at least 6 innings. And you absolutely love that if you're someone betting on Yankees games. Now, Cutter Crawford, he's also been very consistent this season. Started the year a little wobbly, but he's got a 380 for the year, got a 346 this month, a 355 last month, and a 2.13 ERA on the road. Yes, a 2.13 ERA on the road. Now, it is Yankee Stadium, the close outfield fence. Maybe there's an extra home run here or there. There's certainly more possibility for it, but Crawford has been doing his part, especially over the last few months, so we like that especially. Now, the Red Sox, let's talk about some actual trends here. The Red Sox scoring on the road drops just about a full run per game compared to where it is at home. Meanwhile, the Yankees are bad against righties. Obviously, Crawford being a righty. Sox don't really have a preference. I mean, they're marginally better as far as batting average against righty, but also marginally worse as far as scoring output against righties. The real difference is with the Yankees. And like I said, they don't like right-handers. Both of these bullpens are in the top half over the last month or two. They don't make huge mistakes most of the time. I've talked about this with some people in the comments. There are no real amazing bullpens. It feels like no lead is safe, but these bullpens aren't terrible. Like, you can certainly find worse. Over the last month, the Red Sox are 22nd in scoring. The Yankees are 26. Yes, the Red Sox have scored well the last couple of games, but now they're playing Garrett Cole, who is a true shutdown artist. The Yankees have scored 3 runs in the last 3 games combined. I like the under here, 8 runs. Lock that one up. Let's do the final rundown. We're going to go Rangers money line versus the Brewers, Reds plus 1.5 versus the Blue Jays, Rockies money line versus the White Sox, Orioles minus 1.5 versus the Athletics, and Red Sox Yankees under 8 runs. Guys, we are back to winning ways. Again, drop a comment. Let me know. Do we make a guest record box or do we just keep it as a channel record? Tweet Tanner. Thank you, Tanner. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video. Comment. Let me know what your favorite plays of the day are. And until next time, I will see you all very soon. Have a great day.